We are in another world. When you go home, my brother, pole kwa wale wamefanya hivyo, umeshuka nywele, and your father questions you. You think your father needs exposure. You have done that because you are more exposed than your father. So the one who has a problem is your father. He needs to be exposed. Umeambiwa hiyo longi mahali umefungia ni chini sana itaanguka, unasema siku hizi zinafungiwa hapo. Bwana asifiwe sana. When you are told God has blessed you with good breasts but we don't need to see them, vaa nguo za kuzifunika, you think your mama is too old, paka unamuuliza mami, you are 50 years, you want me to dress like you? Disobedient to parents, ungrateful, unholy. Bwana asifiwe sana. Tuendelee. Continue with that. Verse 4. Traitors, reckless, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God. Unapenda starehe kuliko kumpenda Mungu. I invite you, I tell you, Amos, I want us to have a cup of tea in town at 1. And that one is when you are supposed to be in deliverance for prayer. What will you choose? Be honest. Ama sio kitu ya kutangaza, but your guess is as good as mine, sindio? Yes. Unasema hii chai imekuja tu once. Na hii maombi tutaweza omba tu hata wakati huo. Lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God. We are in a society where people love pleasure more than they love God. By the way, all the programs you have here are very good. But there is one that has impacted my life that I want to insist on. Morning devotion. Morning devotion. Ile maombi asubuhi. And I don't know how you conduct it, but the way we used to conduct it in college, it's freelance. Yani, unaingia tu, unaambia Mungu chenye unataka. Hakuna mtu amesimama hapa kukupea prayer items. To me, that is what has transformed my life. I have come to realize it's very possible this God listens more in the morning than in the afternoon. I don't know. Have you ever discovered in the morning there is some breakthrough you get when you pray than other times? Because these other times, there are several distractions. You are rushing, unaomba ukiangalia saa 8 have a class. But in the morning, and it's you and God. By the way, most of these prayers we make here, nimeshika microphone naomba, sorry to say, most of those prayers God does not listen to them. Because I'm praying careful on what you people are listening, not more than what God is saying. Lazima niweke maneno yangu vizuri, language ingie vizuri, ni proper grammar, because if I don't, kuna watu hapa wataona sijasoma, si ndio? But when you are alone with God, if you are a Luo, you are praying in the Luo. If you are a Kikuyu, you are speaking your heart out in your vernacular. You are connecting directly with God. You know, at that point, you are not focused on what your neighbor is hearing. You are focused on who? On God. It's at that moment where you tell God, God, yesterday I sinned. Please forgive me. Hapa unaweza simama useme hivyo. Na wewe ni secretary kama Nekesa. Hautasema, si ndio Amos? You generalize and say, God forgive our sins. But uko, unaambia Mungu, God, yesterday I was tempted to cheat in that cat. Please forgive me. And those are the genuine prayers. So I'll encourage you, as many as you are in this church, let us be as many as that in the morning devotion, wherever that you are. And in the morning devotion, you don't need quorum. Ati nilienda nikapata watu wawili peke yao wanaomba. Hata ukiwa mmoja, God is there. Bwana asifiwe sana. The media has a grand plan to present truth as false and false as truth. That's the grand plan of the media. Like, for instance, let me assist you understand that point. I've said the media has a plan to present truth. They only aired the negative. Like, recently I was watching NTV, some program in NTV. One of the celebrated comedians in this country was saying, I don't believe in marriage. And he was asking, suppose hiyo nyumba inachomeka. You are seeing people running out. Will you be a fool to be running inside the house, into that house that is burning? He was saying, my 10 closest friends, all of them got married and they have divorced. Why should I get married? See, that's very convincing. But hajatuuliza kama mimi Osogo, who has been in marriage for 12 years and it's working. And several others, including your mother and your father, you know. Kama ilivunjika. Okay, kama ilivunjika ni moja mbili. But go even to the village. See, there are more marriages that are working than those that are not working. But the media will present it as though because there was one wedding that never worked, then all marriages are not working. That's the grand scheme of the enemy, to turn the hearts of men against God. So that when this one is watching on TV and she has been given 10 examples of marriages that have failed, she's in a marriage, she begins thinking, okay, so even this one of ours may not work. Huh? Then through that, you know, faith comes by believing. You believe. What you believe is what comes to pass. So when you believe that this marriage of mine will not work, surely it will not work. Even small differences that you could have worked on and talked about this issue, you have already made up your mind that marriage does not work in our generation, because that is what is trending in the society. The media will show you about a pastor who was caught with somebody's wife. And then they say, this is how pastors are. And they forget to mention 1,000+ pastors who have never been caught with anybody's wife. Deception of the media. So that this guy who doesn't go to church, ameona, oh, si yule ni pastor, ameshikwa na bibi ya wenyewe. His salvation is come. Because the media does not tell him that there are other pastors who are faithful and they have never been caught with somebody's wife. Bwana asifiwe sana. The grand scheme of the enemy is to make you to doubt God, to make you doubt your salvation. They will tell you so and so was saying he's born again, sasa angalia vile kumeenda. And they forget giving you examples. Actually, there are more examples of those things that are working than the ones that are not working. When I was in the university, there are guys who came and were talking about HIV/AIDS. Those days, HIV/AIDS was new and it was a scare. And they were saying, okay, tulikuwa tumezoea threats kwamba 5% of all Kenyans are positive. But those guys came with a different report, and I was really encouraged. They said, we have come, they came to encourage us to be tested so that we know our status. They said as much as people are telling you 5% of Kenyans are positive, we have a good report. 95% are negative. And you could be among the 95%. The message is the same, but the way you present it, it brings a totally different meaning. Sindio? Hii 5% jamaa anakuelezea at count 100 people. Hii ni 100. 5 of you are positive. But count 100 people. 95 are all 95 of you are negative. It's the same message, but the way you present it becomes different. Bwana asifiwe sana. Another thing that is trending in our society today is cheating of exams. Bwana asifiwe sana. The media, or the media, when you're talking about the media, I've told you we have different types of media, especially social media. They will tell you everybody's cheating. Do you know the intention? Is that hata wewe ukibia sio mbaya because everybody is cheating. But let me ask you, children of God. Si kuna watoto wa Mungu hapa, you are here and you have never cheated in an exam. Hata kama mko wachache, si mko? Ama situko because I'm one of you. Yes. But somebody will say, even in this college, huwezi pita kama hujaibia mtia. And you will find in a class of 100, only 10 people are cheating. And people want to make it appear like everybody is cheating. So that even our first year is coming, we'll know that hapa huwezi toboa without cheating. The grand scheme of the enemy is to make you believe that God alone will not help you. Lazima upate some support from the devil kama you are cheating, ndio utoboe. Cheating in exams. That everybody is doing it. Do you know that mambo ya corruption has been overemphasized in our country? Not everybody is corrupt. But the media wants to portray everybody as corrupt so that even the few who are not corrupt can also become corrupt. That bwana huwezi pata kazi kama hujaongana. Lazima. And you begin doubting the God you are talking about every morning, whom you are telling every morning, God, open my doors when I finish college, give me a job. And you forget about, they want to make you doubt whether that God is able to do it. And you want your father to sell land so that you have 200,000 to bribe, ndio upate kazi. Faithfulness in marriage. Did you see a research that was released last week? Muliona ama hapa, you don't watch news, you are very serious students. Mambo ni masomo peke yake. Muliona hiyo research? What was it saying? They were saying, I don't want to mention regions, but they were saying almost every man has a mpango wakano. Do you know the intention of that? Is to make those of us wenye hatuna tuanze kufikiria kumbe hiki kila mtu anafanya na sisi ndio tunaogopa tu. That even women, they have that within 1 year there are several women over 20% who have slept with a man who is not their husband. It makes you to begin doubting those. It wants to make those who are doing the right thing to begin doubting whether they are doing the right thing so that they can change their mind. Now, let's go to what is trending. Number one is on fashion. Fashion. What we regard to be fashionable in our society today. Our dress code. That fashion, that dress code that is trending, ask yourself as a child of God, does it give God glory? Does it glorify God? Do you glorify God through your dressing? If you stood before people, don't tell them you go to church, don't tell them you're born again. Will you pass for somebody who is born again? Wataona tu wa suspect umeokoka from your dressing. Or they'll be told this is our usher in the church and they will laugh waseme, hapana, huyu hawezi kwa, from the way you are dressed. The clothes that we put on today, the media will want to portray some fashion as the right one. Like for our sisters, if you have dressed well, covered your body well, the media will portray you as somebody who is old-fashioned, somebody who is not updated. Umevaa nguo vizuri. Siku hizi kuna zingine media inataka mvae zile mnaita see me through. That from the dress you are putting on I can see the color of your pants. Mnazijua? I teach in college, so I understand. Na college yetu hatuna uniform. Afadhali nyinyi mko na uniform. Paka ilibidi in my class, I told my students, hata kama hatuna uniform, don't come to my class without a lab coat. Uvae lab coat. Because nilikuwa naona vitu za ajabu. Surely, msichana amevaa nguo, skati imefika hapa. Na ana insist kukaa mbele. Na mwalimu ni mwanaume. Yes, ni pastor lakini mwanaume. Ni mwanaume. Kwani pastor sio mwanaume? In my class, wananiita mkali, wananiita old fashion, but you cannot step my class kama una lab coat. Maana hiyo najua imeshughulikia mambo ya nguo fupi, imeshughulikia kifua. Because kifua nayo ni issue nyingine. Bwana asifiwe sana. It's not just ladies, even men. Your chest is out. Will people look at you and say, see the image of God? Or you want to dress just because it's what is trending? You are just taken by somebody sat somewhere and thought this one should be trending. Na unafuata tu kama kondoo. Unajua kondoo, I don't know where you come from. You are the sheep farmers. Kondoo, kama kondoo walikuwa napita from this side to this end. Kuna obstacle hapa. Yule wa kwanza akifika hapa apate obstacle aruke. Sasa hata ukitoa hiyo obstacle, wengine wote wakifika hapa, hata kama umeitoa, wataruka. Hiyo ndio tabia ya kondoo. If they were able to talk and you ask them, mbona umeruka? Because yule wa kwanza niliona alifika hapa akafanya nini? Akaruka. Sasa hata wewe umevaa nguo, sio kwa sababu unaipenda, but because uliona wengine wamevaa. It's fashionable. If so and so is dressing this way, then it's right. You are judging the right thing, the rightness of a thing from what the other person is doing. Another area that is trending is on sexuality. Sexuality. A critical look at the soaps that we watch, the kind of music, the adverts we see on television and social media, they have the same theme about sexuality. The theme is this. Number one, the attack on decency, chastity, abstinence, and marital fidelity. Chastity is about abstinence, being true to yourself, being sexually pure. Most of the soaps we watch, see, they are talking about people seducing each other. Yes. And these people are seducing each other, not with the intention of getting married or marrying each other, but for sex. In other words, it shows you that the soaps that you watch, the music that you listen to, it's fashionable to sleep with somebody who is not your husband, to sleep with somebody who is not your wife. Nowadays, those soaps, they go even further and show us men who are sleeping with their daughters. And it's no issue to them. And it should not be an issue to you. Even when you are doing it, it's not an issue because Alejandro is doing it. Men don't know Alejandro. Bwana asifiwe sana. You are doing it because there is an advert that tells us we do it. Like there was an advert about use of wacha mpango wa kando. Then they later revised that one, that kama lazima ukue na mpango wa kando, weka condom mpangoni. So the issue is, kuwa na mpango wa kando sio mbaya, bora you protect yourself. Does that one agree with what God tells us? It doesn't. But the media makes you believe that kama una cheat, cheat kiplani, kimpango. You cheat as a wise person. That's what they say. You cheat as a wise person, usipate ugonjwa, usipate mimba. Sexuality. Another thing they want us to understand about sexuality is demand for complete freedom about your sexual life. Demand for complete freedom about your sexual life. In other words, my sexual life, I'm the one to decide. I have freedom to decide about my sexual life. Who I should sleep with, at what time, in what way, in what place. It's my right. I have freedom to do that. That is why, if I want to marry this boy, I go ahead and marry him. It's my freedom. Actually, they are saying it's a human right. Let me tell you, there are some things that are happening in our country today and we don't understand. There are countries, the superpowers, that have got money. And they want to dictate some things in our country. And the money has been poured to change the mind of people. I'm telling you this because most of these guys things are happening in colleges. Young people like you. It's easy to convince young people like you than people like me who are old enough and we understand what you are doing. Because number one, they know you, lovers of money. You are looking for money. So if we promise you we are going to finance you to run this advert, you will say this is an opportunity. Actually, you will come and testify here in church. God has opened an opportunity. I will be earning 60,000 a month. Ama kuna advert nataka ku present and I will be paid 500,000 once. Then tunashangilia, tunapiga makofi. The girls scream. That's an opportunity God has opened. It's normally girls who scream. I've never seen men scream in church. Amos, mbona scream? Mbona asifiwe sana. The things we are seeing about homosexuality and gayism. Like most of the Western countries, they say it's a human right. Their argument is that somebody is born gay. And because you are born gay, we should not discriminate you by that. Let me bring it closer home. They are saying being born gay is like being born disabled. And we cannot discriminate you by being born disabled. To them, it's wrong to be polygamous. But there is nothing wrong to be gay. Because polygamous, they say, is a choice. But being gay is not a choice. And in our African society, wachana na mambo ya Ukristo kwanza, we never had that. So it's not very easy to convince this boy to stop loving a girl and love another boy. So the only way we can do it is to give him inducements. We promise him a job, and he will come out in public and say, I am gay, and I'm dating so-and-so. So even these people that you are seeing, let me say up to 90% of them, they don't enjoy what they are doing. They are there for money. And some of you, or some of these guys, they have a lot of money that their parents don't understand the source of that money. Because they are being financed. You saw the latest case of a gentleman, I don't want to mention his name, the one who passed on. At home, they know him as a good boy, as a pastor. But what he's doing out there, the parents don't know. Because somebody has offered to pay him a monthly stipend to come out in public and say, I am gay. That is because of what Paul mentions in the book of Timothy, where we have read. that in the last days, you know, there is a global culture, and that we call it globalization, that what is happening in the US, they think it should happen in Kenya, it should happen in Uganda, it should happen in other countries. Sexuality. The sinful actions are branded as liberations and human rights. That when I'm gay, I'm liberated. Some people are gay and they are not ready to say it, but because I'm liberated and I know my rights, I come out and say, I am gay. What is trending? Things like sponsors. Is it trending? It is trending. What is the root cause? The love of money. You can't tell me a young girl like you, who is 22 years, will fall in love with a 60-year-old man. A small boy like this one who is barely 25. Akona mama who is 56. Surely, is that love? Na kuna wasichana hapa age-mate wenye anaweza penda, si ndio? Is that real? It's because of the love of money. And to ensure that that one is perpetuated, this boy is paid a lot of money to come out and say, I love my mama the way she is. It's my freedom, it's my right, I'm an adult, I'm able to decide, this is the one I've decided on. Muliona ingine, you were young by then. Muliona kesi ya Wamboi, Agnes Mbogwa. You know, the mother died almost immediately. The mother of Mbogwa. Mbogwa was 28 years, 25 years. Gets married to a 68-year-old lady. When the mother had that, the mother was in her late 40s. Mama yako ni 40. Alafu unaoa mama ngine 68. The mother died within 2 months. The media interviewed her once. I saw that clip. Mbona Mbogwa amefanya hivyo? Hata kama sisi ni maskini. The boy, Mbogwa was a shamba boy. Mbona amefanya hivyo hata kama sisi ni maskini? And that mama died within 2 months. You don't know how much your parents value you. By the way, I'm a parent. There is nothing I value in my life as my children. You can take my job, you can take everything, but my children are number one. Then you come home that Daniel is married to Dixon. You're killing your parents. Bwana asifiwe sana. And those guys, the Western countries are telling you, you can be born again and do this. We officiate your wedding in the church. There is nothing wrong. Have you seen those weddings? Kama hujaona, mimi nimeona harusi kanisani. One of the churches, I don't want to mention. The church is in this country. But in the US, that church has officiated several gay weddings. Because it started like it's trending, it's fashionable. Then, with the time, people begin realizing, oh, I can do this. It takes away, especially this age where you are. The age, yenye tunaita teenager, paka around 25 years, is a very critical age. This is the age where people are overtaken. People do things without much thought, without much reasoning. So at my age, even if you told me to go to the US, I'll really think. But for you, you only need 5 minutes to decide. Ama ni kuniuliza tu, hivyo tunaenda lini? Na nimekuambia tu saa hii. Hivyo tunaenda kwenda ni lini? You make decisions very fast. That's how you make wrong decisions, because you saw something trending. Uliona so and so is gay and is driving a V8. And you are still bargaining motorbike whether to town is 30 bob or 20 bob. Then you say, if this is what it means to be gay, let me be. Sexuality. There is, like in this town, what is trending, sorry to say this, I'm only reporting what is trending. What is trending is that much prostitution in this town is because of the students. University students, Kmtc students, my students at the Polytechnic. It may be true, it may not be true. But do you know the intention? The